good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, friends. Good to see you. Brooksy's Base Corner here, live chat number 21. 21 live chats. Okay, it's good to see you all. Hope you're all fine and well out there. Everyone's doing okay. This is the first of 10 live chats that I've booked into the channel. So every Tuesday at this time, which is 7 o'clock in the UK, I guess it's 2 o'clock on the East Coast in America. It's probably, what are we looking at? 11 in the morning, I guess, in the US, over in on the West Coast. I'm not going to do a time check, obviously, for every region in the world, but I hope you're all safe and well out there. We're going to do these live chats every Tuesday at this time for the next 10 weeks, which takes us up, I think, into the first week of December, I think. And loads of base chat, loads of stuff discussing what's going on the channel, the potential of some competitions, which I haven't done for a while. Lots of reviews coming, some interviews, some big name interviews. And since I last spoke to you via a live chat, obviously a lot of things have changed, or a few things have changed in the world of bass. Bass Player magazine, which I've written for crikey, 4 years, going back to 2018 when Future Publishing bought the title. Bass Player is no longer a paper-based magazine. It is entirely an online digital entity, I guess, from this point on. So that's a big change for me and the other writers. And for those of you who are subscribers to the magazine or just bought it casually as and when you saw it at the newsagents, which are becoming rarities in themselves. So that's a big change because it now means everything that I do review-wise and what have you is going to be for the channel. So in some ways it's a good thing because it, well, frees up my time to do a lot more review work for you guys, producing more video content for you to enjoy. At the moment, we're actually kind of in a funny state of limbo because our outgoing editor, Joel McIver, was originally going to carry on with the magazine through into it being a digital only entity. However, he isn't now going to be doing that. He's going to be continuing his book writing and doing various other bass related and musical endeavors. So at the moment, those of us that write for the magazine are waiting to find out who the new editor is going to be going forward. We've not, as far as I'm aware, I've not heard anything from a new incoming editor. I've not heard anything from the publisher either. So it could well be that editor brings a whole new writing team with them. We just don't know. So we're going to wait and find out and see how all those ducks line up as we go forward. So that's item number one. Item number two is that here we are at the start of October. Festival season is finished here in the UK. So gigs now go back to the general autumn, winter, spring type of gigs. So weddings, functions, corporate events, pubs and clubs, all of that sort of thing, which again should, for me personally, mean have more time to contribute to the content you see here on the channel. Because without the festivals, driving all around the country, sometimes doing 2 or 3 gigs in a day, obviously that now stops until we get into April or May time. So there we go. So from those two things should, in theory, now mean there's a whole new load of content to come up on the channel. I've got loads of stuff in reserve waiting to go. I've had to find the right time to start putting that up. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. You're more than welcome. It's lovely having you here. Thank you very much to all the new subscribers, all the new people messaging about videos, liking the videos, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, people who have been contributing to the channel via super thanks, which is the ability to make donations based on individual videos. Underneath the video screen, I think there's a dollar symbol, which allows you to contribute to the channel and the ongoing costs and stuff related to keeping this going. So if you've been contributing, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And over the past, let's think, since the end of July, so we're still having live chats at that point, the rotor sound bass string experiment, these things were installed on a Status Graphite Empathy bass, this red bass, and we are currently up to video 11 for gig number 11 here on the channel. Footage up to gig 15 is all filmed. Finish editing that this week. So at the moment, the strings that are on this bass have been on, or they've done 15 gigs since late July. If you've not watched any of those videos, frankly, where have you been? But if you want to watch any of them, I'll put links in the description box below, and I'll also put a link here right now, although you won't see it if you're watching it, but if you're watching this at a later date, there will be a link here, a card they're called, which I'll put through to the very first video, which is the initial introduction to that series. So if you want to catch any of that, feel free to hit on that and it'll take you through to the first video. And then in the description box, in fact below that video and every video series, you'll find links to all the individual videos for the different gigs. Thank you very much for all the positive feedback regarding those videos. It is very much appreciated. It's taken a lot of time, and I did actually, the videos haven't gone the way I initially envisioned them being. I thought they were going to just be 30 to 60 second, almost like taster videos, rather than actually getting a bit more involved, which is how they've kind of evolved, really. The first couple of videos were quite short, and then they've kind of become longer as the series has gone on, and I've sort of found a path to make the videos sort of entertaining for you guys to watch, and actually put some meat on the bones of what I'm trying to do with that series. So thank you very much to all those of you who've watched them. I can see all the viewing figures in the analytics. It looks great. And thank you for the positive comments. Those with the negative comments, well, I've answered your comments and I've replied. I hope that's answered questions you had. And hopefully it's going to run quite a while yet. I have a feeling these strings are going to stay on for quite some time. So like I said, we're at gig number 15. So there's 4 videos still to go up on the channel. You'll only find videos for gigs 1 to 11 so far. So there's another 4 ready to go. And then over the next weeks, months, this bass is going to be coming with me on as many of the gigs that it's suitable for. And I say that because before you think I've only done 15 gigs in 2.5 months, I haven't. I've done gigs with other bands, but I've had to use other instruments. For example, if I'm doing a Queen tribute, I have to use precision basses. I can't really turn up with a Status Empathy. And I've just done a trip away to Cyprus with an ABBA tribute. And again, I didn't want to take the Empathy abroad. That bass has gone missing in action, courtesy of airports and airlines on too many occasions. So I took a different bass that was slightly cheaper in case anything happened. But yeah, there's going to be hopefully quite a, well, I know there are, between now, the start of October and the end of December, there's a whole load of gigs that this bass is going to be on. So unless a string snaps or the tuning stability goes, those strings are going to be on it. So I expect there to be, or possibly even, definitely another 10, maybe another 15, might even be more than that. We will just have to see. Hopefully you'll join me on the journey, and we'll see how far those strings last. So here we go. Tuesday night live chat number 21. I can see there are people out there watching, so thank you. Welcome. You're always welcome here. So what are we doing? So basically, this is a standard live chat that I've done on the channel before, so it needs your interaction. So if you've got any bass questions, anything you'd like to ask me, any advice you might like about bass playing or gear or reviews, or how to do a bass channel on YouTube, or writing for the biggest bass magazines in the world, If you've got some problems with your gear, if I can help, let me know. I have a live chat window here. I can see the questions as they pop up. So if you send me a question, I'll reply. Any nonsense that gets you banned. So we've had people before from various places in the world try to be disruptive. You want to do that, do it on your own time, but not on mine. But I hope everyone's cool out there, everyone's doing well. So here on the channel, numbers are growing, videos are growing. If you follow the channel regularly, you see the output's been fairly up lately with the string experiment videos. There's now going to be a whole load of YouTube shorts going up tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. If you don't know what YouTube shorts are, basically it's YouTube's version of TikTok. I've produced short videos before. Generally they were more of an experiment because shorts has only been going for about 2 years and no one really knew how it was going to work or how it would affect long form content. So as a creator, I'm generally a long form content maker, which means basically my videos are over a minute long. So YouTube shorts are for 0 to 60 seconds in length, same kind of thing as TikTok. Anything over a minute is viewed as long form content. So 2 years ago, no one really knew how that was going to work. In terms of monetization, it's a very, I could say murky. It's not murky, it's fairly clear. So if you're watching YouTube shorts on the mobile app, those of us creators who are monetized, we don't earn anything from those views. If you watch the shorts via the desktop app, then we do receive some financial reward for that. But obviously with those videos, they're very short. So there's only ads at the beginning and at the end. So it's a bit of a different thing. A lot of us long form content creators don't do too many shorts because the amount of time you've got to put into doing it, there isn't any necessary a financial reward at the end of it. But also it can very much skew the analytics. So as I found when I produced a load of shorts 2 years ago in November 2020, I put some video, just general video shorts up, telling people what the channel does, promoting certain interview videos and review videos. And I was actually watching my analytics as a whole bunch of those videos took off. So literally my views were going along and suddenly this thing spiked out of nowhere and came back down. And suddenly I had hundreds of extra views, but they don't count. They don't count towards minutes and hours viewed on the channel. So in one way, they can be very impressive and you think, oh, that's good. But there's actually no reward for the channel in that. However, things are now changing in the world of shorts. As we found out last week, YouTube made some announcements and the way the shorts program is now working is going to be slightly different from around, I think, December, January time. So it's a whole load of shorts going up next couple of days. Then it's get these string videos done, the 4 that are remaining. And then also it's review time. And as I said in the last couple of live chats we did in August, I've got a backlog of content there ready and waiting to go. Now I've got the time to promote it properly and put it into some sort of context rather than just chucking videos up willy-nilly. There's going to be some structure to it. So keep an eye on the channel, keep watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you don't already. Hit the notification bell, and that is really important. I need to stress that because if you don't hit the notification bell, you don't know when I'm putting up new videos. You can be subscribed, but you won't get the notifications. There's also several settings within the notification bell. So basically you can have no notifications and be subscribed to the channel, which is fine. If you're subscribed and you don't want the notifications, that's purely up to you. No problem with that at all. You can then have, I think it's highlighted notifications. And then there's also every notification. I don't think I post up so much that it would drive you nuts. I hope I don't. For anyone who's watching the first 6 months, that wasn't possible because there wasn't enough content coming from me. But that notification bell is fairly quick. Also, a point I'd like to make is that I find sometimes people who are subscribed to the channel drop off, and it might be because of notifications, it might be regular posts on the community tab, it might be they don't like the content. That's fine. You don't need to unsubscribe. You can just turn the notifications off and you won't get notified, but you don't need to necessarily unsubscribe from the channel. So for us creators, subscriber numbers are everything. They don't always mean everything. You can have very low numbers of subscribers and have a channel that does really, really well. But generally, for most of us, we rely on people hitting that subscribe button to kind of propel the channels forward. So if you think I'm producing too much content for you and you think, I wish he'd just shut up, just turn the notifications off, but leave the subscribe button alone, please. But just, yeah, turn the notifications off and you won't hear that I'm producing content. It's fine. So yes, there will be another batch of reviews coming, and I know I get messages from people who watch the channel regularly. So, we haven't had any reviews for a while. I know, but the stuff is there in the can. I just needed to get to a point where other ideas like the string series and what did I do before that? The setup and the cleaning of the bases, they needed to come first, but the reviews will now start flying out, so I can put them within a context in terms of the social media promotion that I need to do. So that's all coming. So if you're new to the channel or you're not new to the channel and you've watched before, if you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. How you want that set is up to you. I have no problem with that. If you're enjoying this video or you're watching it at a later date, please hit the like, the thumbs up, which is like. That helps just keep the wheels and the cogs within the YouTube algorithm working for the benefit of the channel. If you enjoy this video or any other videos on the channel, all of those things are great. If you want to hit a thumbs up, that's great as well. But also for anyone who's unaware, you might see the icons underneath the video pane that you're watching. You'll see there's a $sign, and so I get people asking me, what's the $sign all about? I don't know. So on the individual videos, the $sign underneath the video is called super thanks. So basically, if you're really enjoying a video, or say you wanted some advice on how to fit strings to a Kabiki X Factor bass, and I do a video of that and it really helps you, if you really enjoyed that video and you think, you know, that's solved my problem, if you hit the super thanks button, you can donate financially to the channel, which I know lots of people think these channels just kind of run themselves, and some of them do. Some of them, though, we rely on those donations and other donations from the channel, as well as the advertising that goes on the videos, to keep these things going. So something has to pay for, like, these mugs, pedals, maintenance kits. You know, in order to do that video content, sometimes we have to buy the things to do it. So any donations are really, really appreciated. But also within this video, or the context of this video, if you're watching on the desktop app, you'll see the live chat window on the right hand side. At the bottom of the chat window, you'll see an emoji symbol, which is a smiley face. Again, you will see a $, symbol. That's called super chat. Now, if you're enjoying this video, or you're enjoying what we're talking about, or you want to get involved, again, if you hit that $, symbol within the live chat window, that will allow you to make a contribution to the channel. You don't have to. There's no, you don't have to do anything. You can just watch for free if you wish. But in order to keep the channel going, and things like studio costs for doing filming at a later date on some bigger projects that I want to do, all of those things kind of cost money. And if you want to contribute to the channel, it is most welcome and very much appreciated. And on top of that, I give you a big shout out. So, you know, it's all good. It's all good. So that's the housekeeping, I think. So you guys out there, I can see you, the numbers are growing, so that's great. If you've got any questions you want to ask me, Mike Brooks, Brooks's Bass Corner. If you've got anything you want to ask about bass playing, anything about content on the channel, anything about how to run a bass channel on YouTube. I'm no expert, but I've been doing it 2 years, so I know some of the good things to do and some of the things not to do. If you want to ask anything about writing for Bass Player magazine, or as I used to write for Bass Guitar magazine as well, feel free. If you want to talk about any of the videos that are on the channel, if you want to talk about the Essential Bass Album series, you want to talk about any of the reviews or the soundbite demos or any of the interviews with some of the glitterati of the world of bass, feel free. More than happy to answer any questions. If I can give any advice or help with anything, if your gear's breaking down or you're trying to tune a bass, get the intonation right and the strings just aren't getting there, if I can help, I'm more than willing to do so. I'm going to be here hopefully till about 8 o'clock, but it's a two-way street. I need you guys to contribute questions and converse via the live chat window. So if there's anything you want to ask or even just chew the fat as bass players, feel free. Now, what have I been up to? So since I last spoke to you on the live chats, which would have been, I think early August, mid-August. So we've had loads of festivals. If you've been watching the string videos, you'll have seen some footage from the various gigs I've been doing with the Queen tribute. No, you won't have seen any of the Queen tributes because I haven't been using the status on that. So I've been doing a load of Queen tribute gigs. I've been doing some ABBA gigs. I've been doing some wedding band gigs, and I've been doing a load of Uncle Funk gigs and festivals, which you'll have seen, which is a 9-piece disco funk show band. So you'll have seen all the costumes, you'll have seen the festival shows and the theatre shows we've been doing, which have been great fun. It's been absolutely killer this summer. I think it's possibly the busiest summer I've had probably in about 7 or 8 years. And coming out of COVID, you know, we got gigging last summer, which was a nice warm-up, I think, for this summer. And this summer has just been off the hook. I've been doing 4 or 5 shows a week from June all the way through till the end of August, start of September. And my last festival show was with 21st Century ABBA at the start of September. So that is gig number 11 on the Bass String Experiment video series, links for which I will put in the description box below. And also I'll put a link here in the top left hand corner, how you guys see it, which you'll see a card pop up here now, which will give you a link through to that video, which is gig number 11 of the Bass String Experiment series. But the gigs have just been off the hook. The festivals have been wild. Some of the festivals were already booked on to do next year. Some of them are now becoming what is called in the industry traveling festivals, which means they aren't just a one-off in one place. They're actually going to be taking place in various locations around the country. So the diary is filling up very nicely for next summer. But now we're into autumn and winter and spring, so things kind of settle down a little. And you tend not to get 2 or 3 gigs in a day. Sometimes you do, but with the festivals, it could be 3 in a day. And I had quite a few occurrences in the middle of summer where I was doing 2 in a day. Got to make sure those 2 locations are easy to travel between. So we had a few hairy moments, but we got there. All the gigs got done. So that's cool. And the channel is now, well, busier than it's been for the first 6 months of this year. So if you've been watching, you'll have seen there was the clean up and setup video for the Empathy. She's hanging in there, not looking too bad at the moment. LEDs are all good. Strings are great. If you've been watching the series, I'll give you a quick one of those. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know all about that. So plenty of life left in these strings yet. If you've watched the last couple of videos, you'll know that the strings have started to lose their sort of suppleness and some of the top end is going. But again, because of this bass, it has an extensive sort of 3-band EQ with a mid sweep. Anything I'm losing through the use of the strings, and as they do more and more gigs, I can kind of counteract with the EQ, which is great. And yes, if you're looking at the video, and you're thinking, okay, the red video looks very much like the one in the stand. You're right, they're exactly the same model. 3 months difference. This is the older one, and this lovely quilted maple one I picked up recently, and that was made 3 months after this one. So they're very close in terms of look, sound, feel, and with the way Status Graphite are now semi-retired in terms of instrument production, it was a bass I couldn't really pass by, to be brutally honest. And I absolutely love these empathies. And this red one's done probably close to about 1,500 shows. So if anything ever happened to it, I've now got a backup. But it's immaculate. I don't know if the previous owner had even played it, to be brutally honest. I can't find a scratch or a ding on it. And it sounds absolutely superb. So did very well there. So yeah, so there we go. So that's what I've been up to. What have I got coming up? So I've got Queen tribute this weekend. Then got a couple of function gigs, got some Uncle Funk stuff. November's pretty much the same. It's just like on a weekly basis, a gig or two every week. Then we get into December and it goes a little bit mad. So I've got I think 4 or 5 ABBA theatre shows, a whole load of Uncle Funk corporate and private events, and I've got a couple of Queen shows as well, and I think there's a couple of cover gigs as well, some pub and club stuff to fill in a few of the dates. So it doesn't stop really until we get to January, and then it does go kind of quiet, which is to be expected. But as far as I can see now, the channel is going to be sort of fairly productive and busy over the next sort of 5 to 6 months. So join me on the journey. There's going to be plenty of content, plenty of reviews, plenty of demos. I've got a couple of big name interviews coming up, and I just need to tie those people down to the dates and the times that we're going to do those. So they will be video interviews, would be a bit like the Billy Sheehan one from 2021 on a Zoom call. And we'll see how those come out, but hopefully they'll be happening very soon. And then there's more Essential Bass album episodes to come. I've been scripting those out for quite a while through this year, but rather than write one, film it, put it up, it's easier for me to do them in batches. So I'm going to be doing probably about 15 to 20 of those. So you will see those coming up over the next couple of weeks. What else have I got to tell you? Went to see Richard Marx last night. What can I say? I've seen the guy 3 times before. A top level performer, whether you like his material or you think he's like the modern day Barry Manilow, or I've seen that guy 3 times before last night. Every time I've seen him, he's been outstanding, with a vocal to die for. Probably in my top 3 male vocalists ever. And the show last night was originally, my partner and I were going, and it was originally meant to take place on the 2nd of April 2020, which would have been the first anniversary of our chocolate Labrador dog passing away. So it was meant to be a bit of a night out and a meal and a celebration and what have you. But because of COVID, that gig didn't take place, and it got moved 3 or 4 times. So here we are, start of October 2022, and Richard Marx is here in London. So I kind of knew what to expect. I knew it was going to be the acoustic show where he does a one-man show, and he has his acoustic guitars and he has a piano, and he's a great I say raconteur, but that's not what I mean. A conversationalist between songs, and he can tell you the stories about how those songs got written and stories through his career, and it's a great show to see. Saw him do it at Shepherd's Bush in 2010. Saw him do it with which was him solo in the first set and with a band at the Royal Albert Hall in 2011. Then saw him at Shepherd's Bush again in 2013. He hasn't been back to London since. So, you know, originally it would have been a 7-year gap. Well, obviously now it's a 9-year gap. So I'd never been to Union Chapel in Highbury in Islington, up that part of town, and so it's an old church which has been used for gigs for quite a while. Thought the acoustics would be good, and there's probably 1,000 people in there. And basically I saw one of the gigs of my life. It was just off the charts. So what I'd seen before had only been a foretaster to what he was serving up last night. So at the age of 59, this guy has an immaculate voice, immaculate control, tone, presence, emotion, technique, the whole package. And it didn't matter that there wasn't a whole band and it was just him. It was just mesmerizing. The whole show was outstanding. Picked some really deep cuts, allowed the audience to shout out sort of requests, and they were coming up with some really good choices, and he was well up for it. And it was like, yeah, wasn't a problem. And then we got to a song called Through My Veins, which he wrote for his dad after his dad passed away in 1997. And I've heard him perform that before, and I understand the sort of weight of that song. And by the end of the song, he was in floods of tears. And as he put it, he said, some nights I can play that and I can put the emotion to one side and I can get through it and it's fine. He said, tonight, London, you've just totally caught me. And he was in floods of tears. So highly unlikely that Richard Marx is going to watch this video, or that any of his family are going to watch this video. But I just want to put this on camera. You were utterly superb, utterly superb. I've had the fortune of working with some of the most amazing male vocalists this country's ever produced. I've been to numerous gigs and heard people like Michael McDonald and Adam Lambert, and I can just go like hundreds of singers that I've seen. Last night was a complete lesson and performance in perfection. And I came out of there, and I think everyone who's commented on that show today on social media has just gone, wow, wow. It was just a different class, a different level. So Richard, if you're watching, and again I say this, you'll never see this. Even if I link you in it, you won't ever see this. It was phenomenal, okay? And the fact that it was not particularly expensive, and it was just perfect in every possible way, shape and form. Thank you. Because even though the day we came to see you wasn't the anniversary of our dog passing away, I can carry that through, that if that had been the performance we'd seen on that anniversary, I'd have been made up. So the fact that it was just absolutely phenomenal, thank you. Thank you. I'll say it once again, thank you. It was just off the charts. Wherever you are in the world, if Richard Marx is coming to your town or your city, go, and you won't regret it. We're getting to a stage, and we've had COVID and what have you, where these performers are not going to be around forever. And whether you have liked his stuff in the past or not, or you think it's a bit soft and slushy, believe me, Richard Marx can rock out as good as anyone else I've ever seen. But he's just taken on another level, and I was watching back through some videos and listening to some audio from those shows I'd seen before, and he has definitely gone up a level. I think when we saw him 10, 11, 12 years ago, he was still finding his feet on the one-man show kind of thing. Now he's totally got the audience in the palm of his hand. So if he's coming your way, go and see him. You won't regret it, I promise you. Advertising over. So here we are. Let's see who I've got on the chat. I've got Chris Cox. Chris, hi, welcome. Let's see what you've got to say. Hi Brooksy, what oil would you recommend for a light natural finish Spectre Euro? Cheers, enjoying the show. Chris, I've got a Spectre Euro here, but I have a gloss one. So I would imagine you're talking about something probably that doesn't look too dissimilar to this Status in quilted maple. With the natural finish Spectres and, dare I say it, the Warwicks, I'm assuming it hasn't got a gloss coat. So I'll wait for you to reply here. If it's got a gloss coat, there's a bunch of cleaners I'd recommend. If it's not a gloss coat and it's kind of a satin finish, it might need a wax. So I can highly recommend, let's think, the cream of carnauba wax is generally to make gloss finishes come up and kind of remove tarnishing, but that could well work for you. Otherwise, you want to get like a natural beeswax, and there are various products for this. Obviously, Warwick used to produce, and I presume they still do, their tins of wax. I know some people kind of use like a tung oil, Tung, so like gun oils, gun waxes. So, you know, if you own a gun, I don't, so I'm not talking from a position of authority. If it's got a wooden butt, generally you will wax that or use one of these oils. So I don't have, or I'm not a huge fan of the natural kind of satin finishes like that. I like a gloss finish on my instruments, but with a gloss finish you can start going into sprays and what have you, but on a natural finish you don't want to be doing that. So I'll wait for you to come back and tell me whether you're talking about a natural satin finish or whether you're talking about a gloss finish. So we'll come back to your question if you come back into the chat window. Richard Evans, no more UK dates for Richard Marx other than this Thursday at the Union Chapel again. Well, he's there tonight. So originally it was just 2 dates, and then he added a third because they sold out. There aren't any more. He did Edinburgh and he did Manchester. So yeah, I think he's off to Italy after this. I think after last night's reaction, it kind of took him by surprise. And even he said during the show, that first night of the London shows is the show he's been looking forward to the most for 3 years since this tour was booked, because he loves playing in London. He always gets a good reception here. But I have to say, on last night's show, and it took me really by surprise, because there are, as with any performer, fanatics who sometimes ruin shows for other people, where they'll talk during the show. And I hate this about gigs now, where people treat gigs as a social event, which is fine, it is, but when the band or performer are on, they just carry on talking as though they're down the pub. It's not a jukebox, you know, we're there to see the performance. Last night, no one talked during the songs, and it was a real eye-opener. I thought, oh, you can enjoy gigs without people talking through it. There were a couple of fanatics not far from where we were who thought he was doing a personal performance for them. So they started as though they were talking to him. He couldn't hear them. So they were just blethering to themselves. But yeah, I'm still quite smitten by last night. It was just phenomenal. Right, no more UK dates for Richard Marx other than this Thursday at the Union Chapel. You might get a free ticket after that shout out. I doubt it. Although he has been following the other half's Instagram posts today. So that's all good. But yeah, if Richard Marx is watching, I don't want a free ticket. I'm just happy to be a fan of yours because I just love your music. I love your voice. I've been a fan since '87. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Just keep releasing the albums. His album is flying up the charts. We ordered it on the way home last night. It arrived via Amazon this morning. 20 songs for 10 quid. And they're killer. He's done 5 pop songs, 5 rock songs, 5 country songs, and 5 ballads. There's a song on there he wrote with Burt Bacharach. It's astounding. Amazing. Just, if you want a really great album, someone you've never checked out before, if you like good songwriting and good musicianship, check out Richard Marx's new album, Songwriter. Fabulous. Been listening to it all day. Just amazing. Amazing. Chris Cox, you've come back. Right, so it's a natural finish. Okay, so Spectre with a natural finish. I think you want to go for a wax. Rather than me talk out of turn and recommend the wrong thing, go to the Spectre website. There's a support page on there. Not only does it tell you how to set the bases up perfectly, it'll tell you how to clean them and maintain them. There will be something on there. I would do it on my laptop, but it's going to bore everyone else if I do it. So go to spectre.com, which is the US site. Go to the support page. You will see there is a section on how to set your bass up, which comes from one of the internal techs at Spectre. So it tells you how to do the bridge, lock it, set the nut up, get the relief in the neck right, gauge your strings. It's really good. I remember I printed it out about 2 years ago while we were in lockdown so that I could sort my LX. But on there, it will mention what you need to use for that finish. So I don't want to talk out of turn, recommend something and it doesn't do what you need it to, and I don't want it to mark that finish. I think you're looking at a wax. So basically you'll put it on, it'll soak in, and then you polish with a cloth, or like I use the microfiber Music Nomad cloths, which are great. If they recommend sprays, then go for it. There might be a Spectre specific one, but there'll be a generic spray. So for gloss finishes, which I think all my basses are, apart from one of the acoustics. Yeah, I think all mine are gloss finish. So I use simple green if it's got a load of muck and grime on it. I then start using some of these Dunlop sprays, and I've got some of the Music Nomad stuff. So there are loads of these products out there. It's hard to know a good one from a bad one. If you check out, there's a video, and I'll put a link to it in the box below. I can put a card here. There's a video that I did a couple of months ago, which was how to clean and set up this bass. And I used a bunch of different products in there. You might find some stuff to help you there, but again, it's a gloss finish. But if you've got a gloss finish bass, you can see the products I used, and if you think they're going to help to make your bass look better and give it sort of a good cleanup, then go for it. There will be more of these cleaning and setting up videos coming. I just need a couple of days in the workshop. There's a bunch of my basses that need doing. So there's going to be a whole load of products, not just Dunlop stuff. There'll be Music Nomad. I think I've got some Alembic stuff in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff I've bought. So we will see what works and what doesn't. And keep your eyes peeled for videos on here. If I've bought something and it doesn't do what that stuff claims to do, I'll be telling you. So don't worry, there won't be, I don't get paid for saying something's good or something's bad. If it's good, I'll say it's good. And if it's bad, I'll say it's bad. And at least you guys then have some sort of gauge as to whether, you know, do you want to spend £30 on some sprays and some creams if they don't actually do what they claim they do. So there we go. So thank you for the questions, Chris. Thank you, Richard. Good to see you. Haven't seen you since my birthday, have I? So I hope everything's good, everything's well. So here we are. Live chat number 21 on Brooks's Bass Corner. This is going to be a regular thing every Tuesday for the next 10 weeks. Same time every week. So it's 7 o'clock here in the UK. I guess that's 2 p.m. East Coast time in America. It will be 11 a.m. in Los Angeles and on the West Coast, California. So if you're watching from around the world, feel free to say hi here on the live chat. I'll say hi back. It's you know, don't be scared. I see people queuing up and I can see people watching the videos, but it's a two-way process. I need you guys to converse with me, otherwise you've got to listen to me blethering on for how long? Well, another 15 minutes. But if you guys have got anything you want to ask, or you're looking for some advice, or you'd like to comment about any videos here on the channel, or anything you see here or there, and bits and pieces, I get it. This throws me out every time because I'm on it's around the other way. So if you want to talk about amplification, you want to talk about basses, you want to talk about strings, you want to talk about mugs up here, I need to give this guy a shout out actually. Some of these mugs, so what we got there, we've got Arcade Veteran up there. Yeah, very good. Then one from the Prince store, Rocket Pool in Poole, down in Dorset, here in the UK, who do great Prince merchandise and memorabilia. But these mugs, I'm trying to point them, I'm looking at the camera and I'm trying to point the right thing. So here you'll see a mug, and people of a certain vintage will be going, hey, he's got Pitfall on a mug. Yeah, And over there, I've got the Atari VCS Pac-Man as well. These were bought from a company called the Crafty Shop on, where did I buy them? eBay. And it's a guy here in the north of England, and he's basically got loads of old video game, kind of the packaging and the adverts and the screens and what have you. And he does these mugs, and they're great. And I've bought a whole load of them. That's my childhood there in, you know, in mug form. Pitfall. I mean, I'm 50 years old. There ain't a kid who's this, or it's not a kid, but someone of my age now who does not know what Pitfall is. A game for the generations. But anyway, the mugs come from this guy. So it's called the Crafty, I think it's called the Crafty Shed, actually, the Crafty Shed. And I think he goes under the name of Auto Art Trader, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, the mugs are great. And he sent a load through, and they're just fab. They're great. They look great. So, I mean, there are other ones here. So if you were, again, someone of my age, you would have been into Commodore 64s and Spectrum computers. We're talking video games here. So I've got one along there for Ultimate, which if you owned a Spectrum, Ultimate were the company that produced the best games for a couple of years. And he's got some great artwork. Really good. So again, I'll put a link in the description box, which will take you through to his selling page, I guess, on eBay. So if you like the look of some of these and you think, oh, I'd like that, I'll put links to the relevant merchants in the description box below. Here we go. Here we go. Got some more questions. Excellent. This is now where the conversation, this is the gold dust. This is Richard. Do you have an acoustic bass in your collection? Yes, sir. I have 3. So if you go, I can't send you pictures while I'm in the chat, obviously, but if you go into the video section here on the channel, I think I created a playlist for acoustic basses. If I did, you will find videos of 2 of my acoustic basses in there. One I haven't done a video for yet. Okay, so the 3 I've got, one is a Washburn AB40, which has slits where the sound hole should be. And that was the top of the range acoustic, electroacoustic bass that Washburn produced in their sort of heyday in the late 80s, early 90s. That bass has done virtually every acoustic gig that I've done, except 2. Yeah. It has an amazing tone. Lee Sklar has one of these basses, and he says he uses his all the time. Certainly for studio work. I can't remember ever seeing him with it out in public, but he said on studio sessions where they wanted an acoustic tone, that was the bass he took. So you'll see a video for that. That's definitely up there. The other one I've got is a Washburn AB10, which is a cheaper version of the AB40. That's white, but I haven't done a video for that yet. Doesn't sound the same, doesn't feel the same, but I needed a backup at the time. I had a bunch of acoustic duo and trio shows, and I needed to make sure I had a backup, so that was the sort of the best choice, really. Then there's also, you will find a video for an Ibanez, I've got to get the name right, SRH 500 DEF. I can dig it out. Stay there, people. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting a bass out of a gig bag. Stay there, please. Yeah. Here we go. Got it. So this one isn't in the rack. So there is a video for this. They come in 4-string fretted, 5-string fretted, 4-string fretless, and a 5-string fretless. The fretless sounds amazing. I keep meaning to buy one, but I don't have a reason to buy it. So it would be another bass that's sitting there. I'd just be buying it for the fun. So it's a great bass. It has piezo volumes on the back here. It's quite thick bodied, but it needs some thickness. It's an acoustic bass after all. It's fitted with flat wound D'Addario strings. And I used this not long after I got it on an outdoor acoustic gig. It was in December. And I thought, well, it's going to be an acid test. Either the neck's going to turn into a banana or it's, something's going to go wrong. It was great. worked great. And I then did an electric function gig. So instead of taking a solid body bass, I had this with me, and it was superb. Sounded absolutely superb. And I did a review of it for Bass Guitar Magazine back in, let me think, 2017. I posted that review, actually went up on the Facebook page for Brooks's Bass Corner, I think last week or the week before. I've been posting up some of the old reviews that then can link through to videos on the channel. So if you want to check the review out, you'll find it on my Facebook page for Brooks's Bass Corner. Otherwise, the video, I will put a link in the description box, or if I've still got space in the cards, because I can only put up 5 cards during a video. If there's space, you'll find a link here, which I will do after this video. These are not very expensive. I think they're about £500 second hand. You're looking at 400, maybe less. Quite light. There's a little bit of neck dive, quite a bit actually, but on a strap it's great. So you got volume and tone, and like I say, it's all piezo based, so these are individual volumes, these holes, so you can adjust the volume for each string. Active, I'll say active, it's the power and the piezo. 4-bolt neck, and they're great to play. No, you can't see. Other than pushing the camera back, you can't see me play it, but I'll have a... Yeah, flat ones don't exactly amplify themselves, but anyway. So these are great. Washburns, you'll find them on eBay quite regularly if you want to buy second hand, and they're never that expensive. The older Washburns are better than the newer ones. The preamps are better. Personally, I think the construction's a little better, but depends what you're using it for. You know, is it going to get chucked around? Is it going to get slung in the back of a car, or are you going to just use it for home use? But yeah, plenty of acoustic basses out there. You'll find there are Yamaha versions, Ibanez versions. You can then sort of come down the price ranges to look at Tanglewoods, maybe Crafter. There's loads of them. I mean, there's been loads of reviews in old editions of Bass Guitar Magazine, and there will be some in Bass Player since we've been writing for them. So there's always a pretty good supply of reasonably priced acoustic basses. So yeah, whatever your budget is, I think. Patrick Sweeney, good evening, sir. Welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you. Enfield basses, yes sir, I'm pretty sure you reviewed one. What's your opinion? Well, Enfield basses, okay, so I did the very first review of an Enfield bass anywhere in the world. I had the original Enfield Canon, the very first one. Bass Guitar Magazine got the exclusive on it, so I did that review back in, let me think, December 2008. And I will post up the review on my Facebook page. I was going to do it the other day, actually. I thought, no, just hold off, because I kind of flooded social media with it last week. But I will post that up. So you've got the Enfield Canons. You've then got the Enfield Avengers, which are basically the same technology, but in a standard traditional precision and jazz format. Then you start going into the different Enfields once, and I will take credit for this because I've had the conversation with Mr. Sims. Mike Brooks, suggested to him that he had to break the Super 8 pickup and make it 2 pickups, because everyone commented on those Enfield basses the first couple of years on them. Everyone to a man said the pickup is fugly. That big Super 8 pickup, which you could see, all it needed to do is be broken in 2 and have 2 pickups. And he wasn't going to do it. And I said, Martin, you are missing a business opportunity here. You've got 2 pickups in 1 unit. Break it. Make it 2 pickups. And then you can sell, because he wasn't going to sell the pickup. He wasn't going to sell the Super 8. He said, well, if I do that, then people are going to buy the pickup, buy the preamp, but they're never going to buy the basses. And I said, no, I get that. But I think after a couple of years, so where are we, 2012, 2013, 2014, I guess someone spoke to Martin Sims and kind of backed up what I was saying. Next thing I know, I see him at the bass show in London, and there are super quads. It's the Super 8 pickup in 2 separate pickups. And I remember going up to him and said, told you that was a good idea. And he sort of laughed, and I said, don't forget who told you. But anyway, so yes, so I did the first reviews. I was blown away when that first came out. I thought the bass was great. I could see the wow influences. And got to remember at that time, wow weren't a going concern. I think wow had shut down, and Paul Waller hadn't, not Paul Waller, what's his name? Paul, brain's gone. Live chat, you see. Too busy talking. Paul, who now runs wow, hadn't bought the rights. Didn't, or if he had, he hadn't put the company back into operation. And I guess from that point, Martin Sims thought, well, that design has stopped. There's an element of that shape that I like. The elongated horn, the bigger lower bout of the body. But functionally, the bass was great. I always had in the back of my mind, you're going to get people that as soon as you say to them, you can have a split coil, a single coil and humbucker out of a pickup, they're going to come along and go, well, it doesn't sound like a 62 Jazz, or it doesn't sound like a 64P, or it doesn't sound like a 72 Jazz, or it doesn't sound like a 76 Stingray. It won't. It's a generic pickup format. It's how the coils are laid out. It can't sound like those basses, because those basses were built from timber that have been growing for 100 years or more. And I always knew that would come up, and it did. You were getting people, once people could buy those pickups, they're going, oh, they're a bit clinical, they're a bit, they got no character, or they don't sound like. It's a representation of a split coil pickup, a single coil pickup, and a humbucker. That's what they are. The circuit you choose to go with it makes all the difference. Let me get rid of this Ibanez, and I will show you. You may already know that I have this installed in a separate bass. Let me get the other bass. 2 seconds, people. I've just got to put this bass back in its gig bag. I will be back very quickly. I need to put a lead in the bass I'm about to get you. So bear with me, people. I'm just getting a bass. Bear with me, gang. I'll be with you in 2 seconds. I wasn't foreseeing this, but I've got to go into my box of bits to get a jack. Hold on, here we go. So once Martin Sims made super quads available for retrofitting, I had a bunch of these basses. So I had a bunch of lodestones. I've got a white one here on the wall. I had a blue 4-string. I had a red 5, and I had this Sunburst 4. I sold a couple of them because I thought you've just got too many and you don't need them all. So I had in mind, once it was feasible to buy super quads, these things, I would, because I already had another lodestone with the Jazzes, the active EMGs, I'd do this. So what I've got here is a pair of Sims Super Quad pickups, and I've got a John East Uni Pre circuit. So this is the version that came out in 2015, 2016. I had the circuit tailored, okay? So basically I've got volume, I think, yeah, volume on one pot. Sorry, let's do this properly, shall we? So I've got volume, I think I've got bass and treble, and it's all active. I didn't have a passive option on it. I've then got a boost on the treble, if I want really glassy highs. I've then got pickup pan, yeah, there's a push-pull there. And then I've got a mid cut and boost and a sweep on there. And then obviously these are for the pickups. So for the uninitiated out there who don't know what the hell I'm talking about here, there is a video on the channel which is a demo, a soundbite demo of this bass, so you can hear what I'm about to talk to you about. So basically, each pickup has an LED in it. It's got 3 colors: red, green, blue. So I can have both on red, one on green, one on red. I can have blue and red. I can have green and blue. I can have blue on there and green or red on there. Obviously, with the pickup balance, I can solo individual pickups. So if I want just a single coil in there to make it sound a bit like Sting's Precision, yeah, which is a single coil, I can just pan it to that pickup, set that to red, to green, sorry. And it doesn't matter what color this one's on because I'm not panned on it. It'll be that. So basically in each pickup, you've got 4 mini coils. So there's one there, one there, one there, one there. And the way this switch, sorry, it's hard to show here. I have to hold this up. I'm peering out. It's like Chad, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, that pickup's got 4 coils. Then using this control, I can either have it set on red, which is a split coil, like a P pickup. So it's that and there, I think. Or is it that on that one? I can't remember. Green will be single coil. So it'll be that and that, like a jazz. And in blue, it's a humbucker, so it's all 4. Yeah? So if I want it to sound like a Precision, I pan the pickup just to that and have it in red. If I want the bass to sound like a jazz, I want both pickups, so in the center with that, and both of those on green for 2 single coils. If I want it to sound like a Stingray, with 1 humbucker at the back, pan it to that pickup. Doesn't matter what that one's doing, it's irrelevant. And I want that one on blue. And that's it. So you've got all of those different tonal options available to you. And then you've got all the EQ on top. And then even more so, if I open up the cavity, there are trim pots for various controls in the EQ. That's how it works. So your question to me was, you're sure I reviewed one? What's my opinion? Right. So yeah, so I looked at the original ones, the original Canons. I then looked at the Avengers. I did those reviews. I think Stuart Clayton might have done a couple of the reviews of Lionheart's. I then did the Avengers Mark II, which would have been autumn 2016, which I think were black ones with pearloid plates. And then I did the Enfield Lionheart Airs, which would have been 2018, 2019, I think. So basically those were the Lionhearts without scratch plates, simplified look. Yeah, so I did those. So my opinion, well, I think the pickups are a great idea. They can't reproduce all of those famous tones because those instruments were the sum of their parts. So they were the sum of the woods, the finishes, the lacquering, the hardware, how the pickups were wound. You can't, with the greatest will in the world, unless you're going into modeling and software and pickup modeling, you can't replicate that within one physical unit. It's not possible. So what you're getting is an approximation. I think they're a great idea. I've used them many times in various bands. And if you're in a band and you're covering a load of different genres, different sort of decades of material, it's a godsend because you can get all those sort of split P sounds, you can get all those single coil sounds and those humbucker tones within the one instrument. You haven't got to keep changing instruments. Great, you know. I think they really depend on the preamp you pair them with. Now, I know a lot of Enfields come with Glockenklang. Glockenklang, there's a K in there anyway. I always found the Glockenklang circuit really hyperclinical. I didn't feel it ever had any character, which is why I wanted a John East circuit in this bass. And I don't know Martin's official stance on why he went with the Glockenklangs. I think there may have been because they bought so many in number, maybe that reduced the price. I know when he was doing custom orders, he said if someone wants a different preamp, they can have a different preamp. They just pay for, they're paying for what it is. It's great. It's the way it has to be. I loved the Enfields, to be honest. I thought they were great. The one thing I didn't like was Martin's handwriting all over it. That don't work for me. I was like, oh, okay. I understand it. I know makers like having their little monikers and stuff. That didn't work for me. But essentially, the bases were great, well made. I know of someone who bought one that it had a terrible fret job. I won't say who it was, and I don't think it got sorted satisfactorily. So we'll leave that there. But for what they were and the ideas and the technology and actually having the mindset to go through with it and see it through, I thought was great. And some of the finishes were great. But it kind of, if you've got one and you love it, great. If you're looking to buy one and you see one come up and you think, well, if you're doing lots of different stuff and you're looking for different tones, they're a tone machine, really. You just got to find the EQ circuit that you think gives you the sound kind of that you want. Like I say, with this bass was just sitting here with active EMGs and an active bass and treble, and I thought, well, it's a prime candidate for having a set of super quads in, putting a better circuit in it. So yeah, so if you've got some more questions on that, Pat, stick it up. I'm more than happy to talk. Thank you, Richard. Paul Herman. Was it Paul Waller? What am I thinking? Alex Carter. Yes, volume is good. Yes, and I know I've got all these amps here, but I didn't fire it all up because I never know how it's going to come through on the camera. It might be too much and it would be distorting because I'm not running this all through a mixer. It's just coming through the camera. So that's why I'm not doing the volume thing. That might happen at a later date. I'm not doing it here today. I hope you're well, Alex. Good to see you. Alex, anyone that doesn't know, Alex used to work at the Bass Centre and he worked at the Bass Gallery. Has his own channel, the Bass Ranger. Very good, great player, lovely guy. Support the man. Yeah, okay. I think that's all the questions on there. Guys, got anything else to ask? Fire away. I'll do this for about another 10-15 minutes. If no one's got anything to contribute, I'll bang it on the head. But if you've got stuff you want to ask and want to get involved, cool, let's go for it. So if you're new, you haven't seen the channel before, I'm Mike Brooks. This is Brooks's Bass Corner. This is my YouTube channel. You're very welcome. Thank you for attending. Thank you for viewing. Thank you to everyone out there who is subscribing, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, whether you like them or not, getting involved in the social media. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It all helps. It all keeps this all moving along. It's not easy keeping these channels going. I tell you, it takes so many hours. Which is why first 6 months of this year, if you go back through the videos, you'll see there were big gaps between each video. There was just so much going on. But now I'm in a period of being able to do sort of 4 or 5 days a week. So you're going to see a lot more content coming up on the channel. If you've got any ideas of things you'd like to see, basses you'd like to see reviewed, pedals you'd like to see reviewed, demos you'd like to see, people you'd like me to interview, any questions regarding bass setups, bass gears, your gear not working, you've got anything to ask like that, stick it in the live chat window and we'll go through it now. You can always get a hold of me after the event. So after this live chat, you can go on the social media. We're on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, or you can get hold of me via the community tab here on this channel. Loads of people watch YouTube. They have no idea what the community tab is. So basically, it's a social media page for that channel. I try to post up on it every day or every other day if I think there's something you guys need to know or be aware of. But you can converse with me via it. So if you don't want to use Facebook, you don't want to use Instagram, you don't want to use Twitter, you can just stay on YouTube. Go to the community tab or go to the channel front page. Along the top, you'll see about, videos, playlists. You'll see one that says community. You can converse via there. So feel free to do that at any time. I'll come back to you as soon as I see it and I've got time to respond. If you're new to YouTube and you don't know what the $ is for here on the live chat or on any of the videos, the one here on the live chat, underneath the chat window, you'll see a $. That's called Super Chat, which allows you to make a contribution financially to the channel. If you're enjoying this video, enjoying the channel, enjoying what I'm doing, if you like the content, whenever we do a live chat, you can make a donation. Alternatively, underneath every single video on the channel, you'll see a $ next to the thumbs up and the thumbs down and the share button and the save button. That $ is called Super Thanks. So if you're really enjoying a video, or say you want to find out what the best product to clean your status empathy with is, I've got to put these teeth back in, I tell you, the dentist is going to need a refund. If you want to know what products, just like Chris has asked this evening, what would be good for cleaning a natural finish Spectre, if I've done a video on that sort of thing and you really enjoy it and it's helped you out, click on that $ below the video and you can make a contribution. It could be £1, or it's all done in dollars on YouTube, isn't it? It could be $1, it could be $2, it could be $5, $10, whatever you wish to contribute, it's more than welcome. Thank you very much. You know, it keeps the channel running. We've got some replies. Patrick Sweeney, Martin Sims is a near neighbour of mine. Ooh, you're in a very nice part of town then. And I did end up buying a Lionheart. Most of my gigs are function based, and having to cover so many genres, the super quads are a godsend. Exactly what I'm saying. I used this bass on a whole bunch of functions a couple of years ago. And yes, when you're doing rock stuff, humbuckers or single or split coils, you're doing some sort of 70s funky stuff, go to 2 singles, sounds great. Doing some Queen stuff, forget the back pickup, go on to the split pickup on the front, got John Deacon. So yeah, so if anyone's out there going, what the hell is he talking about? So this is a Lodestone bass. This was Ashdown's first venture into instruments. And I had a set of Martin Sims Super Quads and a John East Uni Pre circuit put in. And it works great. We won't get onto the headstock. People hate it, so let's not talk about that. But anyway, you can buy these pickups, you can buy that circuit and have them retrofitted into any bass. And basically, the pickups allow you to switch between single coil, split coil, and humbuckers on each one. If you didn't know about them, you do now. There is a video, a demo video of this bass here on the channel. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. So if you want to check it out, hear how it sounds, you can. There we go. Any other basses anyone wants to see while I'm here? While we're going through the racks and I'm going through gig bags and what have you, I'm sure some of you out there know I have a varied arsenal here. So if there's something you'd like to talk about, or you've seen any of the videos on the channel and you'd like to ask about something, if I can get to it, which is always a bit of a challenge in this room, I'll bring it on screen for you. In fact, right by me is something that some of you might like to see, or you might not, I don't know. Let me just get rid of this. So here we have, and there's a video for this on the channel. There's a review of this. So this is my 5-string Stingray. Nothing modded apart from the scratch plate. But it's got a status graphite neck on it. It came with a status graphite neck. These necks are now not being produced. If you want one, you've either got to buy a bass that's got one fitted, or you've got to hope that someone sells the bass on eBay or on a bass forum. I get asked all the time, how does it change the sound? Well, you're getting all the benefits of a graphite neck for a start. So it's solid, although it isn't. It's actually, I think it's a graphite wrap, but it's a foam filled neck. And it actually has, it's one of the early ones. So it's got a truss rod via a little plate there. You take 2 screws out and get into the truss rod. But it has all the benefits of a status graphite neck, and it means you can go abroad like I did. I took this bass with me to Australia, doing a bunch of gigs with Bonnie Tyler. It was about 16 years ago. There's a load of videos of that on the channel. If you go to the live performance playlist, or you can just search on the channel for Bonnie Tyler videos and you'll see a bunch of them pop up. And you can hear this bass in operation. And it's great. I don't use it that much because I don't do a lot of stuff with 5 strings generally. It's a 6-bolt neck. Changed the plate. It was a white plate. Got the perloid thing going on. But it's great. And it has a sound all of its own. And it's a nice combination of a 5-string Stingray with a graphite neck. And it's got a bit more snap, a bit more punch to it. And I've used it on a few recordings actually. At some point I'd like to get those up, but I think I might get hit with copyright strikes if I do, which is not the idea if you've got a monetized channel. But playability wise, it's absolutely superb, and I have no qualms of using that neck over a wooden one. I've got a wooden neck Stingray, literally just off camera here, and the difference is quite marked. If you want a comparison, if you go into the videos here on the channel, I think around about March 2021, you'll see a review of this. And then after it, you'll see a review of this, which is my 4-string, which has got the wooden neck. The difference being with this is this has got an Aguilar pickup, and it's got the John East Music Man replacement circuit. So they're going to sound different anyway. But you'll hear the neck differences. Obviously it sounds far more woody, and the 4-string Stingray sounds markedly different from a 5 anyway. So, but if you want to get a ballpark idea of what the differences are and how they sound, check those videos out. So yeah, lovely abalone plate on this. Looks great, looks like a seashell. But yeah, so there we go. If you want to ask anything about the John East circuit, I know lots of Stingray players often think about doing it but don't. I did, and it was great. The real benefit on this is that you've got the Sabre, so a copy of the Sabre top end frequency, which you can access via a push-pull on the volume. So if you want a bit more of a glassy bite, and let's be fair, Stingrays have got a fairly ferocious top end anyway, but if you want it to be a little more, how can I say, so it's a bit more like a status, like a GB, like an alembic. You get that really glassy top end for slap stuff. That'll get you it. And it's also got jumper settings on the circuit, which I think are for the mid-range. I can't remember. I need to go back to the manual. So basically I've got the bass and the treble are voiced like the 76, the original Stingray circuits. And then it also has a mid-range cut boost and a sweep as well. So there's plenty of tone there, and it sounds great. Love this bass. It does loads of work, so all good. All good. So, and this is strung with rotor sounds as well, 66s. All good. Picked up a war wound many years ago on a pub gig. Drummer allowed one of his stands to fall out of his bag and it hit it. But there we go. Not to worry. It lives. So yeah, so there we go. So I will give you another 5 minutes. If you've got any more questions, anything you guys would like to ask. But if not, we will be doing this all again next week, and there'll be more videos will have gone up. So tomorrow there's a whole bunch of shorts going up, YouTube shorts, and that'll be over the next couple of days. There's 4 more episodes of the this bass string experiment series So the old girl and these strings. So for anyone who's been following and they want to make sure it's the same strings, there's the black marks on the silk windings. It's this set. So we're up to, on the channel, the video for gig number 11, which was 21st Century ABBA. I've actually filmed the content up to and including gig number 15. So there's 4 to go already, and then there's more, obviously, as the gigs happen over the next few weeks and months, there'll be more. I think we're going to get quite a load of gigs out of these. And at the moment, there's loads left in those strings. So we're good to go with those. And then reviews, pedal reviews, bass reviews. Might do some accessory reviews. I've got a couple of interviews coming up with some names. Can't let the cat out of the bag at the moment. Got a couple of old vintage interviews which I'd like to get up as well. So yeah, so keep an eye on the channel. Like I've said before, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying this video, enjoy the channel, any of the content. Hit the subscribe button. If you don't want notifications, don't bother hitting the notification bell. If you want to be notified when I post up stuff, hit the notification bell, and then either set it to highlights, so you'll get the things that are like a digest version of it, or you hit all, and every time I post up a video or comment on the community tab, you'll be notified of it. It's entirely up to you. How you wish to have notifications is up to you. My only point, as I said earlier, if you subscribe and hit the subscribe button, if you don't like all the stuff that's going up, don't unsubscribe. Just select none from the notification bell and you won't be notified. Because loads of people don't know that's how it works. They just think, oh, I don't like the videos, I'll unsubscribe. It kills us creators when people do that. Because you suddenly go, oh, why did I lose like six subscribers in what? And it's like, I don't get it. Just turn the notifications off. But there we go. So if you're enjoying the videos, enjoying the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give the videos a thumbs up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the thumbs up. It helps us to show the YouTube algorithm that people like what we're doing. So new videos literally every week now, all the way up to Christmas. Live chat every Tuesday, 7 o'clock UK time. I'll be here. You should be here. We'll have a great time. Thank you guys, Alex, Chris, Richard, Pat. Thank you for getting involved. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you want to come regularly onto the channel, more than welcome. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next Tuesday. If you've got any comments or anything you want to discuss, go to the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can contact me via the community tab here on the channel. So go to the front page of the channel. You'll see various options like about, videos, playlists. You'll see one that says community. You'll get all the notifications as I post them up. So if you want to talk to me via that, feel free. So if you're a bit anti-Facebook or anti-Instagram or anti-Twitter, you can do it all within YouTube. You don't need to go out to the social media platforms to do it. I will love you and leave you. Have a great rest of what's left of Tuesday, if you're watching right now. If you're watching after the event, I will see you next Tuesday. If you want to get involved and be part of this, if you go onto the videos listing for the channel, you'll see the next 10 live chats all listed there. You can hit a button that says notify me, and it will let you know a couple of hours before the next live chat that we're doing another live chat, and you'll be told. So you don't even need to, try and remember. It will tell you there's a live chat going on. So if you want to be part of it, you're more than welcome. Come and get involved. Have a great week. I will catch you next Tuesday, and keep an eye out on the channel for the videos that are coming your way. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Take it easy. All the best.